Most people think walking is the best thing you can do after 60, but one tiny muscle in your leg can do more for your heart, balance, and energy than 10,000 steps ever could. In this video, you lines discover why a single movement, developed from new vascular rehab research, can wake up the forgotten muscle that pumps blood, steadies your balance, and reverses that heavy leg feeling many seniors blame on age. We'll break down how it works, the 1-minute version you can do anywhere, and the crucial mistakes that make walking less effective as we age. By the end, you'll know exactly how to turn this hidden powerhouse back on. Stay to the end because I lines show you how just 2 minutes a day of this movement outperforms long walks for circulation, and I lines guide you through a quick self-test to measure your progress this week. I am Dr. Eli Morgan, a vascular and orthopedic surgeon who has spent over 35 years helping older adults rebuild mobility and confidence after surgery. I've seen patients go from shuffling with canes to walking steady again, not through harder workouts but by retraining this one overlooked muscle. So grab a chair, loosen your shoes, and let's activate it together. The surprising truth about walking after 60: for decades, walking has been prescribed as the gold standard for healthy aging, and it is good. But new research from the University of Tsukuba in Japan and Stanford Medical School shows something unexpected. After the age of 60, our leg muscles stop responding to walking the same way they did in our 40s. Here's why. Walking mostly engages surface muscles, the ones right under the skin. They help you move, but they barely pump blood back toward the heart. Beneath those, though, lives a deeper muscle that's often asleep in older adults, the soleus, located right behind your calf. It's small, quiet, and doesn't burn calories like the big muscles, but it does something far more important. It acts like a second circulatory pump, pushing blood upward every time it contracts. When that muscle weakens or stops firing, you start to feel it. Legs feel heavy, ankles swell at the end of the day, and standing up after sitting makes you wobble or reach for a chair. Here's the real shocker. Walking can't fully reactivate that muscle because the way most of us walk keeps the knee to straight and the soleus to passive. That means you could be walking miles every day and still missing the very muscle that keeps your legs alive and your balance steady. But don't worry, the fix is simple, science-backed, and takes less than 2 minutes a day. Let's wake it up. Exercise 1. The activation move: seated soleus pump. Sit tall in a sturdy chair, feet flat, knees bent roughly at a right angle. Now lift both heels slowly until you feel a deep squeeze low in the calf, not the outer muscle you can see, but the one that sits behind it. Hold that gentle contraction for a count of 3. Then lower your heels until they just graze the floor. Repeat 15 times. That's it. It may look simple, but this movement turns on the soleus, the quiet engine of circulation in your lower legs. Unlike the flashy gastrocnemius muscle that powers running or jumping, the soleus works best when the knee is bent and the motion is subtle. Exactly like this. When you contract it under a bent knee, it compresses the veins that store blood near your ankles, sending that blood back toward your heart and brain. Researchers at the University of Missouri found that 2 sets of seated soleus contractions can raise lower leg blood flow by over 40% in older adults. That means less swelling, better oxygen delivery, and steadier blood pressure when you stand. Think of this as your daily reboot button. If you sit for long periods, reading, watching TV, or scrolling your phone, doing this for 1 minute every hour prevents that sluggish, heavy leg feeling that often builds through the day. If your ankles are stiff or you've had surgery, start with 1 foot at a time and rest between reps. You should feel mild warmth or pulsing, never pain. Consistency is what matters. A few minutes daily re-educates your nervous system to keep this muscle awake all day long. Why this move works and why most people lose it. The reason this small exercise creates such big change is that it reawakens a system most of us unknowingly shut off years ago. When you sit for hours every day, driving, eating, reading, working, the soleus muscle stops contracting regularly. Over time, the brain forgets to activate it efficiently. That means even when you walk, it doesn't fully engage. The result: blood pools in the lower legs, the ankles swell, and your energy drops, not because your heart is weak, but because your second pump has gone silent. The seated soleus pump reverses that. Each slow lift acts like a small hydraulic press. It squeezes venous blood upward, resets the pressure in your circulatory system, and tells your brain, "I'm still here. Keep me switched on." This simple signal chain, muscle to nerve, nerve to heart, improves both oxygen delivery and baroreflex sensitivity, which is your body's ability to adjust blood pressure quickly when you stand. That's what prevents those dizzy moments when you rise to fast. Many of my older patients describe it best. It's like my legs woke up. Within a week of daily practice, they notice less swelling by evening, steadier steps, and less fatigue climbing stairs. If you start gently and stay consistent, this exercise becomes more than movement. It's circulation therapy you can do at home without a single pill. Ready to stand. Now that your second pump is awake, it's time to bring it to life in the position that really matters, standing. Every time you rise from a chair, reach for a shelf, or take that first step, this is the moment your balance system gets tested. The goal now is simple: teach your body to push from the ground with confidence, not hesitation. So stand up, place your hands lightly on a wall or counter for balance, and get ready. We're moving from circulation to stability. Exercise 2, the standing power pump calf drive for stability. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. Place your fingertips on a wall or countertop for light support, just enough to steady you, not hold your weight. Now lift both heels slowly, rising onto the balls of your feet. Pause 4 seconds, then lower your heels with control, keeping them from slamming down. Repeat this 10 to 15 times, resting after each set. That's your standing power pump, and it's where circulation meets balance. By standing, you re-asking the soleus and its supporting muscles, the tibialis and peroneals, to share the load. This strengthens the tiny stabilizers around your ankles and knees that keep you steady when the floor or terrain shifts. Here's what's fascinating. A 2023 study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that controlled heel raises increased not just muscle strength but neuromuscular coordination, the brain's ability to recruit balance muscles automatically during movement. That's the difference between catching yourself quickly and falling when you trip. If your legs tremble at first, that's normal. It means the stabilizers are realignment their job. Go slow, keep your core lightly engaged, and imagine you're pressing your heels down through wet sand. That mental cue keeps the motion deliberate and grounded. Do 1 or 2 sets, twice per day, a morning and evening, to build endurance without fatigue. You're not training for power, you're reprogramming precision. And remember, the goal isn't to lift higher, it's to lift smarter. The steadier your control, the more your nervous system locks in that stability reflex. Why this standing move builds true stability. When you stand on your toes and lower slowly, your body isn't just training muscles, it's recalibrating a complex web of sensors from your ankles up to your hips. These sensors, called proprioceptors, tell your brain exactly where your body is in space. With age, or after long periods of sitting, these signals fade. That's why older adults often say, "I feel unsteady, but I don't know why." The standing power pump restores that communication. Each slow raise fires the proprioceptors in your ankles, knees, and hips, the same sensors your brain relies on to keep you upright on uneven ground or in dim light. In 2022, a Mayo Clinic Balance Lab study found that targeted calf and ankle work improved postural stability scores in seniors by over 30% after just 3 weeks. But the key wasn't muscle size, it was neural precision. Your nervous system relearns timing and coordination, those split-second reactions that stop a stumble from becoming a fall. Here's another bonus. These heel lifts gently stretch the Achilles tendon and fascia, improving blood flow and joint mobility. That's why many people report their knees and hips feeling lighter after a week of practice. The circulation from below nourishes everything above. So don't rush through the movement. Slower is smarter. Each repetition is a message sent to your brain. I'm balanced. I'm stable. I'm safe. From stability to strength, you've now reconnected your legs to your brain, and that's no small thing. Most people stop here and already feel lighter, steadier, and more confident on their feet. But if you're ready to take it one step further, we can unlock the deeper layer of your balance system, the strength beneath stability. This next move trains each leg to hold its own, reawakening your body's built-in safety net for slips and uneven ground. So find your focus, take a breath, and let's go deeper, one leg at a time. Exercise 3. The single-leg soleus builder deep balance activation. Stand tall beside a wall or counter for light support. Shift your weight to your right leg and bend that knee slightly. Not locked, not squatting, just soft. Your left foot can hover or rest lightly on the floor behind you for balance. Now lift your right heel slowly until you feel a squeeze deep in your calf. Pause for a count of 3. Then lower your heel with control, keeping that soft bend in your knee the whole time. Do 8 to 10 repetitions, then switch legs. This bent knee position is what makes the difference. When the knee is straight, the big surface muscle, the gastrocnemius, takes over. But when you bend the knee, that deeper soleus muscle does most of the work. That's the one responsible for circulating blood upward and anchoring your center of gravity. Imagine each rep as teaching your nervous system to stabilize on one leg, the same reflex that saves you when you miss a step or turn quickly. A 2020 for clinical review in the Journal of Geriatric Rehabilitation found that single-leg heel raises under slight knee flexion, improved reaction speed and balance recovery time by 27% in adults over 65. You're not just strengthening a muscle, you're retraining an entire balance circuit. If you wobble, good, that's your body learning. Keep your breath steady, eyes forward, and posture tall. With time, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. When you stand, you feel grounded, not cautious, not tense, just stable. That's what happens when strength meets control. Why this final move protects you from falls. Every fall starts with the same chain reaction. The foot senses an uneven surface, but the signal to the brain comes a fraction too late. That tiny delay is what throws the body off balance. This single-leg soleus builder shortens that delay. Each slow, controlled rep refines the connection between your ankle proprioceptors, the sensory cells that detect tilt, and your spinal reflex arcs, which trigger automatic corrections before you even think about them. In simple terms, your body learns to save itself faster. When the soleus and surrounding stabilizers are strong and alert, blood pressure stays steady as you change positions, your reaction speed improves, and your steps become more certain. That's why researchers from McGill University's Gait and Neuro Lab found that older adults who practiced single-leg calf raises 3 times a week reduced their risk of falls by nearly 35% within a month. But the science only tells half the story. The real change is what you feel the moment you walk into a room without scanning for chairs to grab or step off a curb without hesitation. That's confidence built from the ground up. So, whenever you do this move, one leg, one breath, one calm repetition, remember, you're not just training muscle fibers. You're rebuilding your body's trust in itself. And that's something no medication or fitness gadget can replace. Putting it all together, let's tie it all together. You started by waking up the second heart, the deep muscle behind your calf that restores blood flow and lightness to your legs. Then, standing, you rebuilt the coordination between muscle and mind, learning how to balance through calm, deliberate movement. Finally, you trained each leg to stand on its own, teaching your body to react, recover, and remain steady no matter what the ground beneath you does. These 3 moves aren't about fitness trophies or gym routines. They're about function, circulation, reflexes, and the confidence that comes when you trust your legs again. If you practice them daily, even just 5 minutes total, you lines notice subtle changes that matter: less swelling at night, smoother steps in the morning, a stronger sense of control every time you stand. They work together like gears in a single system. One keeps your blood moving, one keeps your body aligned, and one protects you when life catches you off guard. So take a moment and appreciate what you just did. You've trained a network of muscles, nerves, and vessels that many people give up on. You didn't just exercise, you reconnected. Your second heart is awake. If you've made it this far, you've done something powerful. You've reawakened a system most people never knew they had. That quiet muscle beneath your calf isn't just anatomy, it's your second heart, and it's been waiting for you to notice it. Every time you practice these 3 moves, you're reminding your body that it's still capable, still adaptive, and still strong. You're not trying to get younger. You're teaching your body to move smarter. I've seen patients in their 70s and 80s reclaim their balance, confidence, and independence, not by pushing harder, but by reconnecting the small systems that make the big differences. That's what today was about, so here's my challenge to you. Over the next week, do these moves once a day, morning, midday, or before bed. Then come back and tell me what you felt change first: your energy, your steadiness, or that sense of trust in your own legs. Write one sentence in the comments below. Second heart awakened. It as more than a phrase. It as proof that you re part of a community refusing to let age decide what is possible. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to feel stable again. And if you want the next step, how to keep this strength alive in your hips and back, subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up. Stay steady, stay curious, and keep that second heart beating strong.